Thanks for joining us at 7 o'clock. I'm Tracey McCain.
And I'm Caitlin Nuclo. You're watching Eyewitness News here on the Wax. Let's get right over to the weather. We'll say hello to meteorologist Jill Gilardi this morning for a check on that first alert forecast. What a beautiful start to the day.
Yeah,
Jill.
fantastic. 3 mornings in a row with refreshing air.
Yeah, you're bringing all the good weather.
Exactly.
I try. Sometimes it doesn't always work out. Mother Nature and I, we just, have our little private conversations.
Relationship.
So you never know. But yeah, certainly starting off on the right foot. 63 right now. The view from Windsor Locks, you notice it looks a little hazy. Well, that's due to wildfire smoke that's going to be moving across our sky from time to time today, varying in its thickness, but right now there's no air quality alerts or anything like that. A little bit of patchy, very low-lying fog, so generally visibility is looking good. Hour-by-hour forecast as we head through the morning hours. We're climbing into the 70s. It's going to be warming into the 80s this afternoon, topping off generally in the low to mid 80s, and you'll notice that sunshine becomes partly sunny conditions for later today, and there could even be a stray shower. So rain chances start to tick up a little bit the next couple days, but more so late weekend, giving you that first alert. Muggy air and unsettled weather will return. I'll have more on that forecast coming up in about 10 minutes. Let's get an update though on traffic with Caitlin. Good morning to you.
Good morning to you, Jill. Good morning, everyone at home. Thanks so much for watching here. Eyewitness News on the Wax, 7:02. If you're heading out the door, majority of the state in good shape. Typical delays you can see here, 95 southbound, New Haven to the George Washington Bridge, just about an 80-minute ride time. But Hartford to New Haven on 91, Waterbury to Hartford on 84, delay-free at this point. We're crash and incident-free out there across the state, which is great. Great way to start your Wednesday. Nice refreshing start as well, and nice abundant sunshine. So you will need the sunglasses, even though you won't need the air conditioner once again in the car here this morning. Live look here in Hartford, 91 north and southbound here in the capital city. Waterbury, 84 east and westbound, in and out of the Mixmaster, in Middletown here along Route 9. And then here in Meriden, 691 east and westbound. Again, that daytime construction work picks up just about 8:30, 9 o'clock this morning, but right now we're free and clear. I'm Caitlin Francis with your Connecticut Chevy First Alert Traffic Report, driven by your Connecticut Chevy dealers.
Update just into the newsroom from State Police. We're learning a man has died in this crash on Route 32 in Wellington that happened last night. Crews had to shut down the road after a tow truck collided with a pool van. We're still working to learn what led to that crash. The road is back open this morning if you're heading through that area.
The results are in from last night's primary here in Connecticut.
We've been following 2 key races for you, one for the U.S. Senate, the other for the House. Channel 3's Roger Suzanin is live in our studio this morning. So, Roger, break down the results for us.
Yeah, ladies, the voters certainly made their voices heard last night, and Republican voters had to decide who would take on 2 big players in the Democratic Party this November, Senator Chris Murphy as well as Congressman Jim Himes. So let's start with that Senate race. With 54% of the vote, Republican Matthew Corey has been selected to face off against Senator Murphy. Corey faced off against Jerry Smith, who's a 3-term first selectman in Beacon Falls. Now, Corey previously came up short against Senator Murphy when the two ran against each other back in 2018. Murphy has held that seat, by the way, in the Senate since 2013. Now, moving on to the House, Republican Michael Goldstein will now run against incumbent Democrat Jim Himes in November. Goldstein beat out Bob McGuffey with 53% of the vote. Now, Congressman Himes has held his seat in the House since 2009. Right now, he's actually the current ranking member of the House Intelligence Committee. Of course, we're going to stay on top of all of these races as we head into the general election this November. So make sure to keep it here with Channel 3 on air and also on the WFSB News app for the very latest from the campaign trail. Live in the studio, I'm Roger Suzanin. And Kate, I'll send it over to you.
Well, Donald Trump is ramping up his campaign schedule with a rally today in North Carolina.
The former president is expected to focus on the economy. Meanwhile, Vice President Kamala Harris will have her own event in North Carolina this Friday, where she'll roll out her economic platform. The Democratic National Convention kicks off next week in Chicago.
Of course, we'll have all the coverage for you right here on Channel 3. To Milford now, where investigators tell us a moped rider was badly hurt after they crashed into a car on Boston Post Road near Locust Street yesterday. Crews closed a section of the road for several hours. If you know anything, call police.
Well, these crashes come on the heels of a dangerous 24 hours on Connecticut roadways after 2 deadly motorcycle wrecks.
One rider, who has not been identified yet, was killed in the Tariffville section of Simsbury yesterday morning when they crashed into a utility pole on Route 189. Then on Monday night, a 31-year-old, Robert Holcomb of Farmington, died after he crashed his motorcycle into a guardrail on Route 44 in New Hartford.
Well, there were 538 motorcycle crashes this year. That's just between January and July. Experts say a mild winter contributed to that high number, and they add that wearing a helmet reduces your risk of death by more than 40%.
Well, this morning, talks continue about a controversial plan to take down the traffic lights on Route 9 in Middletown.
The Department of Transportation leaders say the project, which was first proposed in 2016, would improve safety and reduce traffic congestion. But some people who live in that area don't agree.
Channel 3 Eyewitness News reporter Olivia Schuler has the latest on the project.
The Middlesex County Chamber will hold a meeting with their committee to discuss the removal of traffic lights on Route 9 here in Middletown. That meeting is set to begin at 9:30 this morning. Now, during the meeting, the Connecticut Department of Transportation will provide updates on the project, and there will also be a Q&A. This comes on the heels of a meeting back in February the Department of Transportation held to give people a chance to see the latest plans for building a ramp over Route 9. Then in April and May, another meeting was held at Wesleyan University to discuss a proposal. Still no final green light on the project. The Department of Transportation argues the two traffic signals could be too close to each other, which has led to an increase in crashes. Officials with DOT say the area had around 500 crashes and 361 injuries over the last 3 years. Some business owners on Main Street believe removing the lights will hurt downtown restaurants, shops, and create more traffic on local streets. The projected cost for the project is $143 million. 80% of that will be covered by the federal government. The remaining 20% will be covered by the state. Now, it's projected right now that the project will take anywhere from 3 to 4 years to complete, and we'll bring you the very latest as this story develops. In Middletown, Olivia Schuler, Channel 3 Eyewitness News.
Well, in Vernon, a wild traffic stop on I-84 after police say a driver was caught going 118 miles per hour. State police say Rhonda Charles of Mansfield was spotted speeding near exit 66 in his Toyota Camry. A trooper managed to catch up with him and pull him over. Charles is now charged with reckless driving.
Police in Meriden say they've taken down a massive drug operation, finding cocaine, fentanyl, and marijuana. Officers say they also found a stolen handgun and $35,000 in drug money. Edward Mercado is now charged with operating a drug factory. We're told police had him under surveillance after getting tipped off that he was dealing drugs.
New this morning, the family of a man who was shot and killed by a West Hartford police officer last year has filed a lawsuit against the officer and the town.
The family also wants the Justice Department to open a federal civil rights investigation. Channel 3 Eyewitness News reporter Marcy Jones has the newest developments.
The family of Mike Alexander Garcia Jr. says they are calling for accountability and justice from every person involved here. They also add they do not believe this is an isolated incident for West Hartford Police Department. According to police, on August 8th of last year, 34-year-old Mike Alexander Garcia was traveling in a stolen car when officers stopped the vehicle. Alexander Garcia then attempted to steal 2 other cars before entering the driver's side of a parked SUV at a New Britain auto body shop. There, Officer Andrew Teeter released a canine on Alexander Garcia, and the two can be heard yelling on body camera footage at each other before the car starts to move. That's when Officer Teeter shoots Alexander Garcia 5 times. Now the family of Alexander Garcia are citing the Police Accountability Act, alleging that the death of Alexander Garcia violated his constitutional rights. According to West Hartford Police Department policy, use of deadly force is justified only when an officer believes the force is necessary to defend an officer or a third person from imminent threat, an arrest, or to prevent escape from custody. The State Inspector General's office has not yet released a final report and are still investigating the incident. Now, the family, along with their attorney, plans to speak publicly. That's happening later today at 2 at the West Hartford City Hall. Reporting in West Hartford, Marcy Jones, Channel 3 Eyewitness News.
Good morning. It is now 7:10. We've been tracking this morning, generally clear skies, but a little hazy, all due to wildfire smoke from Canada moving across our sky, kind of lingering. Moved in yesterday evening. A little bit of patchy fog you can see there in Middletown, but really low lying, no big issues to visibility and travel. Upper 50s, low 60s. The exception would be Chester, New Haven, Bridgeport. Now you're in the mid 60s. The day ahead features temperatures climbing into the low 80s this afternoon to mid 80s, so at or slightly above average. Sunshine, well, we're going to see some clouds developing this afternoon. There's even a small chance for a passing shower. So we'll be watching for just a few stray showers possible this afternoon, but scattered activity developing tomorrow afternoon. Then we're going to be trending muggy and unsettled this weekend. We'll pinpoint the wettest time frames for the weekend and also have an update on Tropical Storm Ernesto. That's coming up in about 10 minutes from now.